Hi, I'm Louise Mason and I'm from the Australian Labyrinth Network. I'm grateful to be a member of the World Labyrinth Day Steering Committee. So, welcome to session 2 of the Power of World Labyrinth Day, a global act of contemplative activism. And this is presented by Legacy Labyrinth Project. Thank you for joining us today. It's lovely to see everybody's faces popping up on the screen. And Susie, should I be on speaker? You? No? No.
While we're waiting for everybody to come in, I think we're fine in gallery.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So today we're going to learn about the science, research and sacred action that makes World Labyrinth Day one of intense global power. So now here's Susie again, Susie Lepper, membership chairperson for the Labyrinth Society and the co-coordinator for the World Labyrinth Day Steering Committee. Susie will also be our Zoom tech today. And she has a few announcements before we get into our presentation.
Well, thank you everybody for being here, and thanks to anybody that's joined us that was affected by our technical difficulties that we had for the first session. Thank you so much for making time to join us this evening. We do have a couple of little Zoom reminders about keeping yourselves on mute. We do suggest that you set yourselves to speaker mode since there are so many people. And we will be sharing slides later, and hopefully that will go very smoothly. The meeting is being recorded, and everybody will receive the recording and also a PDF with any chat resources that we talk about here. So don't worry about trying to take notes down about the chat items. Up front, I want to tell you that the beautiful slides you're going to see are proprietary to Legacy Labyrinth Project, and they will not be sent out as a part of the attachment. But for additional information about contemplative labyrinth activism, Chris Katzenmeier, our presenter's information will be there for you. A couple of things about World Labyrinth Day that we'd like to point out. First of all is a selection of virtual walks that we are featuring this year at different 1 o'clocks around the world. So if you're 1 o'clock in the East Coast and you have a walk plan for your 1 o'clock, you could actually hop onto a Zoom finger walk in another time zone by checking them out there. There's even one in Spanish. We have one that's being done by one of the members of the group that is from the Netherlands. We have Judith Tripp doing one from out in California. We have well, it's just a great selection. There's, I think, 11 finger walks listed right now on the website. So check those out if you want to really indulge in World Labyrinth Day. We also, I was going to mention to people about our call for messages and words of greeting and peace to send to our friends in North Shields, UK. This was a project we did last year, and it was very well received. You'll receive back all of the messages that are sent, and you can share those with your group on World Labyrinth Day. Someone's asking what date is it? It's the 2nd of May. The first Saturday is May 2nd. Oh, and that information will be also in the chat resources, or there's a link to it right from the homepage, worldlabyrinthday.org. We also have a new program this year that's brought to us by the Labyrinth Keeper at the New Legacy Labyrinth in Toronto. And there is a special Prayers Without Borders opportunity for folks that might be observing on Sunday, May 3rd. Or if you want to do this in addition to your May 2nd World Labyrinth Day. It's a special intention for Sunday. The intention will be, I am present to the universal energy of peace. The information for that is also on the link to that is on the homepage. So I hope that you'll give that a try as well. And I think that's it for announcements right now. So we're going to go back to Louise.
Thanks, Susie. Oh, those virtual events are so exciting. I can see myself traveling around the world through the 24 hours. Don't ask what I'm going to do.
And let me just interrupt there. We do have one that is being done by one of the presenters is in Australia. So if you want to do a Friday evening virtual walk. If you're here in the United States, it would be Friday in the evening. Just
Yes.
go and sign up for that one. All the links to sign up for those are right there on the
Yeah.
webpage.
Yeah. Highly recommend Judith as a presenter. Okay. So now getting back to our session tonight, planning a World Labyrinth Day event is sacred and exciting work. Whether you're doing a virtual walk or in-person event for 2 people or 200 people, we meet today to prepare our hearts and those of all who walk for peace and planetary healing on World Labyrinth Day and World Labyrinth Day in educational settings. We join our pre-World Labyrinth Day intentions to connect and prepare in advance the venues and labyrinths that will be used. So please join me in taking a moment to settle and breathe while I read the World Labyrinth Day intention aloud 3 times. So this first time, just listen. The hearts of the hosts and participants are prepared for World Labyrinth Day. All labyrinths are connected for the highest good of our world. So this second time, just repeat softly after me as I phrase the intention. The hearts of the hosts and participants
The hearts of the participants
are prepared for World Labyrinth Day. All labyrinths are connected for the highest good of our world. And now this third time, just listen deeply to entrain the intention. The hearts of the hosts and participants are prepared for World Labyrinth Day. All labyrinths are connected for the highest good of our world. May it be so. And now I'm pleased to introduce today's host, Christine Katzenmeier. Many of you already know Chris. She's the Executive Director of the Legacy Labyrinth Project, and she's also a member of the World Labyrinth Day Steering Committee. And I can see Carmel, who's gazing at the screen too. She's a member of the Steering Committee, so we're well represented at this session tonight. Welcome, Chris, and it's yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Louise. And welcome, everybody. It's great to be here. And World Labyrinth Day is quite the event. And so I know how hard Susie and Carmel and all of the others on the steering committee are working to make this available to so many more people than it used to be. So thank you, Carmel and Susie, for all your efforts. And Louise and the rest of the people on the steering committee, please know that they are working very, very hard for all of us. So thank you. Great to be here. And I just want to let you know that this presentation has 2 parts tonight. The first part, I'll be talking about the science of contemplative labyrinth activism and why we have the title that we do. And then the second half of presentation today is we will be actually walking a labyrinth together. We'll be practicing what we're learning tonight. So between now and then, which will be about 20 minutes, if you want to get your finger labyrinth or you want to download a labyrinth, this would be a good time to do that. It doesn't mean that if you don't have a labyrinth, you don't want to go get a labyrinth, that's just fine. We'll make that work as well. So let me start with the science part. At the Legacy Labyrinth Project, we have been doing research now for about the last 6 years on walking a labyrinth with heart-centeredness, with an intention, and then releasing it in the center of the labyrinth. We've done 5 studies now, and we'll make those all available to everyone here in the notes that Susie will send out. But that's why I'm so happy to be able to do this presentation, because we believe that World Labyrinth Day is the quintessential act of contemplative activism. And I will explain more about that in just a minute. And then we'll move forward into our own walk as a practice. So again, thank you so much for being here and listening. And this recording you can also use in any way you want to. If you want to use it, for promotion, if you want to use it for education, it's totally up to you. And as Susie said, you'll get a copy probably just right after this session. So let's begin. I invite you all into the understanding of a new power, a new power. This power isn't loud. This power isn't visible. This power is coherent. This power is intentional. And this power gets even more powerful when a collective is doing it together. So what is this power? This power is walking collectively on a labyrinth. And I'm so grateful that we have World Labyrinth Day, that we can do this practice together. So in our research that we've been doing, we've been finding that when you practice alone, like walking a labyrinth alone, there's a lot of benefit, as we all know. When you walk a labyrinth collectively, more people, a group, the intention intensifies, it amplifies. And then when you get the whole world to be participating, as you'll see in a moment, this amplifies that power and that energy even more. So you do not ever have to doubt the power of walking on World Labyrinth Day. So let's go to the next slide, Susie. So let's imagine that these islands here are labyrinths. When a complex system is far from equilibrium, so that would mean when your world is kind of chaotic, small islands, in this case, labyrinths of coherence in a sea of chaos, have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. And this is what we've been researching. The answer is absolutely. And this really describes World Labyrinth Day to a T, I believe. Let's go to the next slide. These are the events that have been registered, and Susie has been plotting them on a map. So you can see these are the registered walks for World Labyrinth Day. So we will have on World Labyrinth Day an amazing representation of islands in a sea of chaos. So thank you, Susie, for all your hard work on that, and Carmel, because I know there's going to be even more than what we're looking at. But this is where these are the islands. These are the islands of coherence that are going to make a field of energy, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So let's go to the next slide. So when a certain number of people come together, okay, like on World Labyrinth Day, and they choose a precise moment in time, okay, at 1 o'clock, to create a precise emotion in their hearts, that's the intention, that emotion can literally influence the very fields that sustain life on planet Earth. This is Greg Braden, and a big hero of mine in terms of his discoveries and his writing. He does write a lot about the field. He does write a lot about quantum science, if you're interested. It's Greg Braden. Let's go to the next slide, Susie, please. So what makes World Labyrinth Day a global act of contemplative activism? Well, it really operates non-locally, which we'll talk about in a minute, on the 3 principles of contemplative labyrinth activism. And the 3 principles are there in the big print. They're coherence, intention, and action. And I'm going to go deeply into these in just a few moments. But if you can remember, coherence is energy, intention is focusing that energy, and action is releasing all of that in the middle of a labyrinth. This is contemplative labyrinth activism. It's a title that we came up with after we did 4 research projects on World Labyrinth Day, which I'll talk about in a moment. Let's go to the next slide, Susie. So here we go. Coherence. coherence is just energy. It really is just energy. But coherent energy is the energy that when it is in us, when our energy is coherent, we feel calm, we feel centered, we feel focused. That would be coherent energy. Incoherent energy would be when we're feeling agitated or we're feeling angry. And what we want to do to be healthy, to be healthier, is we want to help ourselves to be in coherent energy as much as possible. And that's where a labyrinth comes in perfectly. We're not only energy, we're also light. So we do feel solid. Most, our bodies feel solid, our tables feel solid, our, things in our periphery feel solid. And actually, they are all energy as well. So our biophotons, which is an amazing part of ourselves that I don't have a lot of time to go into, but our biophotons emit light. So there's certain cells in our body that emit light. Excuse me. And as they emit light into our energy, we start to create this electromagnetic field around us. And we all do this. We all have this. And as you see on the bottom left, this is called a torus field. So when your energy goes out, right? So say your positive energy, your coherent energy goes out from your body, you will again feel it coming back into your body. So example might be if you are being kind to somebody, your energy is probably very coherent. And if you're kind to somebody, that energy is going out, it's being felt, and good chance that you will feel that kind energy yourself. So that's just the torus field. What goes out comes back. Okay. Oh, there's an example here that a light bulb, just a regular old light bulb, gives off light, but its energy is very incoherent. A laser beam puts out light, but it is extremely coherent. And that laser beam, because it's coherent, is much more powerful, much more powerful. And we'll explain how that works in just a few moments. Let's go to the next slide.
Okay,
So this
Chris.
next,
Yeah, Chris, just and this is Susie. I tried to admit someone, and when I go to click admit,
oh,
it stops my ability to advance the slides. So I'm
okay,
just going to take a minute to stop share and start again, and then you'll have to watch for the admissions, okay?
sounds good.
All right. So I'm just going to start again. I figured out why I have that problem. Okay,
Okay,
go back here.
well, good. We can look at each other. Let's look at each other.
And let's see
Start this
where we,
coherence in this collective. This is great.
just a second. We're going to go back here. Okay.
Okay,
From the
no
current
problem.
slide. There we go. And there we go.
Okay. So another example of coherence is why we're all here. It's the labyrinth. We're all connected to labyrinths, as I'm assuming that we are, and that we really like labyrinths, or we might not be here today listening and talking about World Labyrinth Day. But one of the coolest things, I mean, there's many cool things about labyrinths, as we all know, but a labyrinth is an automatic tool of coherence. So when you look at the lines of the path in the labyrinth, they're equidistance, just like the picture I just showed you of the what coherent waves look like. So when you, as an individual, get into a labyrinth, are walking the labyrinth, you are walking in coherent energy. And if you're feeling agitated or if you're feeling, incoherent, um, oftentimes we walk labyrinths for that reason, and we come out feeling better. We come out feeling more centered, more calm. And that's because we were walking in this coherence that the labyrinth provides us. Now, if you think about coherence, one person getting coherent in the labyrinth, what would happen and what does happen when a lot of people are walking the labyrinth? Well, in our research, when a lot of people are walking a labyrinth with an intention, the intention, the energy of the intention gets focused from the amplification of the coherent energy. And I don't know if that makes sense at this moment, but that's what we're going to practice in a little bit. So you'll be able to get the feeling of what that means and what that feels like. So just one more thing about this is every labyrinth, doesn't matter the design, but every labyrinth has coherent, has and the walk and the fields. So that's one of the sacred geometry benefits that the labyrinth provides us. It provides us its own coherent energy to influence our own energy. So let's go to the next slide. So collective energy is not new, and people using tools that aren't labyrinths isn't new. But they use different things besides labyrinths to get the same effect, to be coherent. And drumming is a wonderful way that happens. Dancing can be chanting, ceremony, singing, all of those you see here. And a lot of times you'll see these things happen before a ritual. Sometimes you'll see drumming happen before a ritual. And it is my guess that it's the reason for that is to bring everybody into a heart-centered coherence, to bring everybody into a coherent energy before the ritual. So let's go to the next slide. So this is the biggest player in contemplative labyrinth activism. And actually, it's the biggest player in World Labyrinth Day as well. The unified field, and there's all kinds of different names for it. Field of consciousness, source, God sometimes is used, but the unified field is a collection basically of all the energies in the universe. The unified field fundamentally is just one consciousness. And when we can tap into the unified field, there's a lot of possibility that happens or can happen, that is available to happen. And that's what happens when you walk a labyrinth with an intention. You join the unified field. And you can do it without an intention as well. But we're talking today about World Labyrinth Day and using the intention of walk as one at one. So unified field, one field of consciousness. Let's go to, and it's extremely coherent. Okay, so let's talk brief about non-locality. Distance doesn't matter. And a lot of you already know what non-locality is, but let's go to the next slide. The truth about non-locality, it's the power to be in a state of coherence and taking action. It's connection that is not limited by distance. And I'll share some of the science outcomes that we found with non-locality. But when a parent is away from their child and they sense something maybe bad is happening, that's non-locality. When there's a group in Australia that were meditating, a group of, I think it was 50 people were meditating once a day for 3 weeks on a group of seeds. I think they were grass seeds in Ohio. And the effect was astounding. They had 3 different trays, and the first tray is the one that they were meditating. And what the intention was to grow strong, grow green, grow strong, grow green. And the other 2 did not have any prayers or intentions or anything. They were just the control group. So I think it was after 5 weeks, they compared the grass seeds that have grown. And yes, the ones that had been meditated for with an intention were green and they were healthy and they were much taller than the other ones. There's a load of research on non-locality and how you can meditate and walk labyrinths and send energy to with intention and have amazing results. And when Susie sends out the information after the meeting, I will definitely send some books that you can read to go more into this if you want to. But on World Labyrinth Day, non-locality is this labyrinth is walking with a group of people with an intention. This labyrinth is walking with an intention with a group of people, even in a different country. And these people could feel the connection of these people. And I'll share the science that we found on that in just a moment. So that's non-locality. And there's this one great science experiment. Let's go to the next slide, Susie, called the Maharishi effect, done in between 1970 and 1989 by some transcendental meditation people. And what they found is exactly what I was just sharing with you, that a collective of, I think it was 150 people in coherent energy through meditation were able to reduce crime in the Washington, D.C. area merely by this energy that they were sending out to the people and to the area of DC. They also found out that it only takes 1,817 meditators to influence something in the United States. It takes 8,832 meditators to influence the world on a specific intention. And it only takes 3 people, 3 advanced meditators to influence 900 people. There are critics of all research and science, as we know. There are a lot of critics of this particular research too. And one of them is they did this without an intention. They didn't use an intention. It was just the meditation. But they did have an intention. I don't think they quite knew that they did, but we think they did. And that is that they were meditating to reduce crime in the DC area. And that's exactly what happened. So by direct and indirect intention, you are very powerful. So I ask you, or suggest anyway, that you think about what intentions that you're sending out to people, because that energy is very strong and can be felt. So let's go to the next slide, Susie. So here is kind of the secret sauce of World Labyrinth Day, in my view, intention. And I've been talking already about when you're in coherent energy and you focus that energy with an intention and send it into the unified field, good chance that it will be felt, received. So let's go to the next slide. I could not think of a better example than this one. And I don't know if all of you have been following the monks or did follow the monks. I did daily because it made me feel good. And I believe, for those of you who didn't follow the monks, these are a group of 21 monks from all over the world. They met in Texas. They started in Texas and they walked 2,800 miles from Texas to Washington, D.C. They had an intention, and their intention was peace and compassion for the world. They were coherent because they were walking and they tried to keep themselves equally spaced all the way. And again, you can see the equally spaced lines of a labyrinth in that. Sometimes it didn't work because they got tired and kind of, fell back a little bit. But for the most part, they certainly did that. So there you have coherent energy. You have an intention of peace and compassion. And for those of you who did follow them, know exactly what happened. Their energy, their coherent energy, and this intention started to influence thousands of people. Thousands of people started lining up on the sides of the road to meet these people. Thousands of people showed up in parks where they were stopping for lunch or for a lecture. Their coherence and their intention influenced thousands. Now, this again is coherence and intention, and their action is walking to Washington, D.C. So let's go to the next slide, Susie, please. This is the key. This is the key to walking with an intention. Walking with an intention to the middle of a labyrinth. If you can feel the emotion of what it feels like to walk as one, I invite you to feel that emotion of walking as one in the middle of the labyrinth by yourself and with the rest of the people that you're walking with. That emotion creates a biological chemistry inside our bodies that helps us connect to the field, literally. So just to remind you of that, I will remind you of that again when we do the walk together. And let's go to the next slide, Susie. So I'm not going to read this slide to you, but I want to tell you that when you walk with a intention, when you walk a labyrinth with an intention, you are taking action. You are taking action for humanity. I mean, and maybe your idea is different than that, but when you walk as one at one on a labyrinth with thousands of people in the world, that's a very quiet and powerful action that you are taking. And in our world at Legacy Labyrinth Project, action is activism. And it isn't the activism of marching in the street. It isn't the action of, writing your congressperson. It is the inner wisdom, the inner action of ourselves doing something for humanity. That is activism. And it's a very powerful activism. This is what I was speaking about at the very beginning. This is the new power that we have, that we all have. And those of us who walk labyrinths are lucky enough to have a tool that amplifies this action and this activism. So let's go to the next slide, Susie. Let's go to the next one. Okay, Alice Walker, the lady who wrote Color Purple. I just think she's great. I like her face. I like everything about her. So I chose her for the poster person today. And I like her quote. I believe her quote. Activism pays the rent on being alive and being here on the planet. Simple translation is when you take action for something you care about, isn't that what we're here to do? Isn't that why we're here on this planet? To help the planet, to help each other be the best that we can be. That's activism. That's taking action for ourselves and for humanity. Action as activism. One more slide, Susie. This is the big connection. This was the study we did on three World Labyrinth Days. We had over 1,000 people fill out questionnaires for us after their experience. And I am just going to do this briefly because I want to respect your time, but you can go to our website, which we'll put in the chat in a minute, and you can download the complete study on this. But there were three main things that we found. The first two are similar. These are connections. People felt connected. They felt connected not only to each other people walking on World Labyrinth Day, but they felt connected to nature, the field, spirit. And the first one, I think it was 71% felt either transcendence or boundlessness. And transcendence is, something that we feel that we're existing beyond the physical and the material world. That's transcendence. So 71% of the people felt that. Boundlessness, that when you walk a labyrinth on World Labyrinth Day with this intention is walk as one at one, there is a boundlessness. You have no boundaries. The other one that was really high that I didn't put on here is that really the majority of people, it was over 90% of the people felt that this was a very sacred thing that they were doing, walking a labyrinth on World Labyrinth Day with thousands of other people around the world. They felt this is very sacred. The last one we did not foresee. The last one is a large percentage of the walkers, after they walked with this intention, felt like they wanted to do more. They wanted to take action. they were motivated. Some of them said, "Oh, I want to walk more labyrinths. I want to tell people more about how to walk with an intention. Um, I want to work with kids and introduce labyrinths to them." They were all over what kind of actions that people wanted to take. But this is where we came up with the title Contemplative Labyrinth Activism, because we felt that we really wanted to explore this more. Why do people want to take action after they walk a labyrinth with an intention? And so that's our research that we're doing right now. There will be another published paper coming out. I'll make sure you all get it. And then we will do another research project right before the midterm elections. And it will be about the midterm elections and coherence and intention. So look for that as well. So let's go to the next slide, Susie. There is a labyrinth under the snow there. And some nice person decided to shovel it and make lines so people could walk it. This is a legacy labyrinth in Toronto, in Trinity Square Park. And I just thought that was cool, so I wanted that picture. But I want to invite all of us now to do a practice of what all of this is about and what I was saying, and actually try to feel into how this works. So let's go to gallery view, Susie.
Gallery view. Okay, just a moment.
Yeah, let's go to the gallery view. We're going to do a heart-brain meditation. And if you want a copy of this, I'm happy to give you one. But this is how the people in the study, how we ask them to do this to become coherent before they entered the labyrinth. So we're going to try that tonight. I feel like this group is probably quite coherent at this moment, but let's try this. And this is available to you to use with your groups on Labyrinth Day if you want to. So we'll do this meditation. I'll repeat the intention, and then you can go ahead and start walking your labyrinth. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. And after the labyrinth, we'll open this up for questions, and yeah, and we'll end with questions. So right now, I invite you to just sit back in your chair. Put your feet on the ground. If you feel comfortable to close your eyes, close your eyes. And just take a deep breath in, slowly, slowly breathe in, and slowly exhale. Slowly inhale, and slowly exhale. Continue to breathe in, breathe out, and try to do it just as slow as you can right now. Slow in breath and slow out breath. And on this next inhale, I invite you to imagine that you're breathing right into your heart space, the center of your chest. So as you breathe in, you're breathing into your heart space. And you're exhaling from your heart space. Breathing into the heart space. Exhaling from the heart space. Imagine the other people in this group right now. Imagine us all as a collective, as we are. And I invite you to breathe in the energy, the heart energy of everyone into your own heart. So as you breathe in, to your heart, you're breathing in the energy of all of us here. And when you exhale, you're exhaling your heart energy right into this collective. So breathing in the collective heart energy to your heart and exhaling your heart energy back into the collective. Breathing in the energy, the heart energy of this collective into your heart, and exhaling right back out into collective, your heart energy. Imagine that we are all now breathing together. So as you inhale, everyone is inhaling. And as you exhale, everyone is exhaling. So breathing in the collective heart energy, exhaling your own individual energy, and know that we are all in rhythm. We are all at the same pace. And we all are breathing as one. Continue to breathe into the heart. Exhale from the heart, knowing that we are breathing together. As one, our hearts are not separate. And as we breathe in the collective heart energy, we are forming a field, our own field of coherent energy. We are connecting hearts. We are amplifying our energy. And we're working as one in this moment as we breathe in the collective energy to our heart space. We are creating a field of calm, a field of care. And we're not creating this alone. We're creating this together. So breathing in the collective heart energy to your heart. And exhale your heart energy into the collective. We breathe as one. We connect hearts as one. We form our own field of coherent energy to begin our walk. So go ahead and just go back to just breathing normally. And just normal breathing. And as you come back, you can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. I'll say the intention one more time. And after I say the intention, please feel free then to walk your labyrinths, your finger labyrinths. And when you get to the middle of the labyrinth, say the intention again. And if you're able or if you want to, feel the emotion in your body or in your mind, in your heart, wherever you feel it. What does it feel like to walk as one? And after you do that, let it go. Let the intention go into the greater field. And however you do that, some people just raise their hands up and let it go. Some people just imagine it being released, however that works for you. But release that intention in the middle. When you come out, just stay open to whatever emerges for you. The intention is walk as one, at one. So Susie's going to put on some music and go ahead and walk your labyrinth. I'll call you back in about 6 minutes. have about a minute left. So as you wind down your walk, just come on back and look around the room. We get to see each other now. No more slides. And and take a little while to look around the room. Nobody's going to know that you're looking at them. But just look at this humanity that's here tonight. You know, this is our collective. This is the group that we became coherent with tonight. So we are connected in a way, in a good way. Would love to hear either what came up for you tonight in your walk. I'm always curious about that, always. And or what's your plans for World Labyrinth Day? Would love to hear from you. And if you want to just raise your hand, or you can use the little icon, the little raise your hand icon at the bottom. What's your plans for World Labyrinth Day? What did you experience in your walk? Yes, I see Amy. I saw Amy. Where'd she go? Amy, go ahead, Amy. Where'd she went?
Is it Amy from the car? Because she's on mute.
I don't know. I just saw an Amy raise her hand and then she disappeared.
There,
All right.
here we go.
Can you hear me now?
There she is. Yeah. Hi, Amy.
Yeah, you can hear me? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I am planning a World Labyrinth Day at a nearby town, Maryville, Tennessee, at my father's church. Their cemetery, which is actually right next door to another church because the church relocated years ago, their cemetery has a beautiful labyrinth. And so I'm very excited to be planning a walk there, but I have not yet put it on the World Labyrinth map because the pastor that I'm working with to put this together hasn't gotten back to me with all the permissions from all the bureaucracy of going through the church. And we're also trying to partner with the church that is right there at the cemetery grounds that has the labyrinth. So there will be hopefully another dot on the map. And what came up for me today is number one, when you were going through your beautiful slide presentation, the idea of the key, and perhaps we want to provide a key, a token for people to carry during their walk or to take with them from the walk, because it's nice to have something tangible that you can hold on to. And so perhaps that's an idea. And I absolutely loved the music that was played during the sessions today. And I didn't know if we could get a link to that. And I started thinking of what sounds we might want to have as we walk, and the idea of something beautiful like this or the sound of flowing water. And so I started thinking about underground springs and how they connect different points without people necessarily knowing what they're connecting. So the idea of water flow. I'm sorry for talking so much, but thank you for the opportunity and for this beautiful session. I really, really appreciate all the work that you put into it and that everybody's put into it. So thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. And much success to you on World Labyrinth Day.
And perhaps, Carmel, could you take a minute and just on the heels of that, talk about how the dowsers and the gong folks and our energy keepers are supporting World Labyrinth Day?
Yes, I certainly will. We're just so happy for this sort of new thing that bubbled up this year. We have a couple ally organizations, three of them to be exact. I shouldn't say organizations. A couple of them are. The Labyrinth Society Energy Keepers. Our own energy keepers are going to be helping us. Red Door Studios. They are a global gong group, sound healing group, and the American Society of Dowsers. So they're going to be supporting us behind the scenes with energetic earth energy, connecting all of the labyrinths around the world, keeping the time zones connected, especially the ones that we don't have events listed in, keeping them connected and coherent. They're going to be using sound energy. The gongers are going to be hitting the gong for us around the world. And, just good intentions and good old fashioned, I'm going to use the word prayer, if I may, from the Labyrinth Society Energy Keepers. So we've got it coming and going. We got it behind the scenes and on our finger walks and, on our feet outside and inside on Labyrinth. So we're happy to invite you to any of those. And if you want, you can join any of these groups. Like you can join the Labyrinth energy keepers just by calling and getting involved with that. You could do the same thing with the American Society of Dowsers. So if you're interested, let us know. We'll hook you up. Thank you.
I love that. That's just amplifying the energy.
It's cool.
That's so
Pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah. Mary Beth.
Yes, this is, I'm in South Bend, Indiana, and this is our fourth year of being part of World Labyrinth Day, fifth year of having a labyrinth at our Mind, Body, Spirit Fest, which is a community group of vendors. But over the years, and I experienced it while we were sitting, that coherence, it's been an evolution. Each year we have more people that walk the labyrinth. We now do it in 4 different locations throughout the summer. Last year we evolved and incorporated sound healing, sound baths, gongs around the labyrinth as people walked. And I think as I sat today, I realized when I first did one and spray painted it on the grass, which is what we do in the park because we take over the park in South Bend, I just hoped one person would walk, and we had a few, and how that has grown, how this movement has grown each year. And so I think it's important, if it's your first labyrinth or your fifth one, to know that it's going to evolve. Just on its own, it's going to evolve.
Yes.
And so
yes.
I really appreciate this.
Mm.
That coherence.
I agree with you, and thank you. I agree with you. I think of the monks, they started with nobody following them.
Exactly.
And nobody, yeah, and you're right. It just evolved. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it did it naturally.
Did it naturally. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
And thank you, Mary Beth, and thank you for everybody who's writing in the chat. I don't think we have time to read them all, but you can read them all. And thank you for that. And thank you for all these varied ideas. We all like to look at others' ideas, right? And we're a group that, can borrow other people's ideas, which is great too. So I want to respect our time, and I just want to thank you too for coming and thinking about World Labyrinth Day and learning a little bit more about what is taking action, and action is activism. And aren't we lucky to have a labyrinth too as our tool, as our foundation? So I am done. I'm going to turn this over back to Louise, and much much success to you on your World Labyrinth Day event. Thank you so much.
Oh, Chris, what can we say? I can see hand claps and hearts floating across my screen, and that's exactly how I feel after being present to your look, such a clear
I know.
presentation. And I've been
Yeah.
looking forward because I've not had the opportunity to experience you sharing this work personally. We can say personally because we're all part of a collective group. The energy, I really felt the energy of the group. It's been terrific to have you all with us too for this session. Experiencing what Chris is actually talking about, but also living and sharing that experience with us. So, I mean, I can say on behalf of the whole World Labyrinth Day Steering Committee that we are so looking forward to your participation. It was lovely to hear from those of you who could share with us today the plans that you already have. And World Labyrinth Day in educational settings. Thank you for everything you're planning to contribute to that and for being part of it, and also for participating in and being that wonderful rolling energy wave in May. So look forward to the recording now, Susie, and being able to relive it all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And watch for the recording and for the resources. Go to the website, worldlabyrinthday.org. Links are all there for everything you need to do to get your event listed. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Hi, Peter. There's Peter. Hi, Peter.
Sorry it was hard to get you in, Peter. It looked like it took a while to get you admitted.
Right. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I look forward to watching the recording and using it with my participants.
Reliving, yes.
Great. Good. Good to see you. Tell everyone in Newfoundland to say that we say hi.
I will do that for sure. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you.
And I
Bye-bye.
just wanted to say, nice job, ladies. It was nice to be here with you tonight.
I'm glad you
You
could be
did a
here.
beautiful job, Chris. You did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, it's something near and dear to my heart for sure.
Yeah, you can speak so fluently about it. I appreciate that. Yeah.
It's
Good
the
job,
clarity,
Susie.
Chris. You know, when you think about it, you make it sound very simple, and yet it's a very complex thing. Like complex in terms of what's actually going on scientifically.
Scientifically, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm going way too fast because there's, like you said, it's more complex, but yeah, well, good.
The images were very profound.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we got
really?
some of them. The one with the people weaving from the earth. I mean, how cool
Yeah.
is that?
Oh, that's a beautiful image.
It was beautiful.
You haven't seen that before.
No,
That's
have not. First one I saw.
okay.
Very
Yeah, I
beautiful.
think that's kind of public domain. Let's see. Are you sure you want to stop recording?